Come on, man.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America, use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
And you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all of the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsports Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
When it comes to innovation on the track, Odenthal Racing Products leads the pack. From the highly popular EasyGP camera mounts to our tough case to GoPro case, racers everywhere trust ORP for strength, reliability, and precision. We're proud to be the #1 engine mount manufacturer in the USA. And with our new Easy Bumper Retainer System, you won't get caught out with a failed bumper bolt again. Odenthal Racing Products. Lead or get left behind.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental cart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Hey.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser driver fitness episode with me, Chris G. And today we're doing some upper back movements. Here we go. Exercise number 1 today we're doing is the reverse grip lat pull down. This exercise movement is one of my favorites because it works your grip strength, your biceps, and most importantly, works that lat area that also protects those ribs in the seat. Exercise number 2 today, the dumbbell chest supported row. Don't forget, good stretch at the bottom, and bring them right to your hips like that, keeping your back nice and arched, shoulders back. Think about having good posture in the cart. Exercise number 3, the inverted Smith machine rows. Grip strength, back strength, overall amazing workout. Thanks again for joining me on another Kart Chaser driver fitness episode with me, Chris G. Race ready training that carries into real life.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Batavia, Ohio, the 17th state to join the Union, and Motorsports Country Club Cincinnati. You're watching the final round of morning warm-up for Senior Rotax ahead of the third round of the RMC Americas Trophy. Caleb Vieska sitting alongside me, and he rode that all weekend. Caleb, this is a glorious track. It's the first time I've been here. I'm so impressed with the facility that you know very well indeed.
Yeah, this is one of the most beautiful tracks that we have here stateside. This place is very, very well kept, very green grass out here. Oftentimes compared to the or to the always elusive Augusta National in golf, this place with the fences, with the RVs parked along the fence line, this place really kind of brings out the beauty in karting of what is a country club feel, with the bailiffs, you know, very doing a great job looking after this place year round. Their house on property here makes it a lot easier for them and both of their boys to keep an eye and keep this facility in the beautiful condition that it is. The curbs are freshly painted. Everything is ready for the season to kick off here. This one, the first of multiple races that we're going to have here at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. We start here. We go on to next weekend with the Pro Tour, and then the United States Pro Kart Series, the Star Championship Series. Everybody is getting their taste here of the Motorsports Country Club this year.
And after walking the entire length of the circuit on Thursday, I can see why every major national series wants to make MCC Cincinnati, one of the key stops. We're situated here at the Kart Chaser broadcast booth underneath, of course, a Buckeye tree, the state symbol of Ohio. You are looking at Senior Rotax morning warm-up. Today, we have round 3 of the RMC Americas Trophy to bring you, getting underway very shortly with qualifying, a short, sharp 4-minute session, then into the pre-finals, and of course the main events. 20 laps of this 16-turn, 0.96 of a mile circuit, very bumpy, very abrasive. You're looking at Sean Butcher at the moment making his MCC Cincinnati debut. I spoke to Sean, British driver, saying, yeah, love this circuit. Really grippy. It's a real driver's track. And there are some turns, Caleb, where the driver, specifically turn number 1, can make the real difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to kind of go fast around this place. And like you mentioned, right, very characteristic in the way that the bumps work and the way that you can take a variety of different corners, the way that you can take some of the curbs out here as well. You can do a lot. You can look to go fast here in many different ways, but David Land, in his time of working with us, he's always said that this place, MCC, is a driver's track. This is a place where you need to go fast, where you need to find a way, to find those nuances, those differences where you can go better than your competitors. Macy Williams has done just that here this morning, 3:24. Top of the timing charts, the Aiden Ingrata driver who swept the opening weekend at the Musselman Honda circuit finds himself in second, and Sean Butcher in third. A lot different than all the tracks that we've been to this year, and this will be one of the biggest tests for Sean. Look, we've talked about, the bumps. We talked about everything. This is also a very physical track, one of the more physical ones on the racetrack, especially when we talk about the FZ shifter class in its second weekend here, and even more so here in the Senior Max Division, Henry.
So this weekend, 2 rounds for the Rotax Max classes. Today, round 3. Tomorrow, round 4. 4 tickets to the Grand Finals, the Rotax Grand Finals, available for Mini Max, Junior Max, Senior Max, and DD2. No DD2 class here this weekend, but also then there are tickets available to the Rotax US Trophy Finals coming up later this summer at Newcastle. We've got the second round for the KZ, the FZ85s and the FZ125, the junior and the senior shifters. They've got 2 heats today, and their pre-final and final follows us tomorrow. The weather, it's been brutally hot, very energy sapping as we watch. Unfortunately, that is Mr. Wilson in the number 381 Kart, who had a brief off-track excursion, a mechanical issue, brings the MSL CRG session to a premature end. Today, the weather is slightly overcast, slightly cloudy, which is actually a bit of a relief because it was energy sapping the Midwest sun beating down on the paddock here. But you're right, this has got an Augusta National feel to it, the country club. It's beautifully set out. I would recommend this should be a bucket list circuit for anybody who really likes their karting.
Yeah, this is one of the staples, right, here in the U.S., and it's definitely become so throughout the last couple of years. You talk about, if you want to talk about majors in golf, you can talk about some of the racetracks as well that we visit. I would say this is up there, definitely.
Oh, yes.
In my first time here, and I'm excited to come back here every single year. There's a lot that goes to Cincinnati, a lot to do around and in Batavia as well.
You know you're at a good place when you drive in, and the entry road, which is Sean Bailiff's front garden, by the way, because he does live here on site, have got red and white painted curbs on the corners of the entry road. You know you are in racers territory. What a beautiful, beautiful view. This is the new section we were just looking at there, the extension that came in about 6-7 years ago. This place has got a great potted history. We'll try and bring you up to speed about how Motorsport Country Club Cincinnati came to be and how it came to be under the stewardship of the Bailiff family. There is one corner that is one of the real drivers' corners. That is turn number 1. But Caleb, we've got time qualifying underway. This is the FZ85 Junior class. Just 4 minutes, you've got to get out and get on with it.
Yeah, this is one of the newer packages that we're seeing. We had obviously debuted pretty much a little bit last year whenever we were over at the Pro Kart Challenge in California. It was really the first time that we saw the FZ Junior. And with a resurgence in the junior shifter package, Billy Musgrave being a big testament to this package in developing this. And now you have the next generation of drivers, driving this package that is new. It's a different test, and I would say this is really one of the best opportunities for accelerated learning, whether you want to get ready for car racing or even in karts. If your ultimate goal is to become a pro shifter driver at one stage, it's great for them to kind of get ready in a stage like this, knowing and understanding how front brakes work, shifting gears, understanding all these different things that comes in a shifter package.
Absolutely. Now, as we watch the number 543 kart of Homer Heeman, a local driver from Batavia. Well, Macy Williams, she's not from Batavia, but she has just gone fastest in morning warm-up, and I think Cameron Reed is down with Macy in pit lane.
Macy 11th yesterday in happy hour, about a second off pace, but able to pull it together this morning. Kind of talk me through what happened last night and ultimately that session there.
Yeah, last night we had a bit of a mistake on my part, kind of just a mistiming issue, and definitely didn't show our true pace yesterday. So definitely happy to come out this morning swinging. Still have a couple things to work on for this morning for qualifying to get ready. I have a couple things driving-wise, and I think we can get the go-kart a little bit more dialed in and be good for hopefully the top 7 then.
Yeah, you'll be rolling off towards the back of the grid. How does that kind of make you feel going into this quali session? Is there any worry there?
Honestly, not really, because everybody kind of stops anyways, so we'll see how this plays out with the 4-minute quali. Hopefully there's not too many games played, but we'll play by ear.
Well, good luck, Macy. Back to you guys.
There we go. Good to hear from Macy. Macy has got 2 of her biggest supporters here this weekend, Lola and Lorenzo. Macy's got her 2 dogs here. When she's not in the kart and working, helping some of the other drivers, like John McClellan, for example, who is in the number 528 kart out on circuit at the moment. She can be found, she walks Lola. Lorenzo, who's a big boy, he walks her around the paddock, I've got to say. Number 577, RJ Brown, the R3 Speed Fab driver. Now, if you were watching warm-up earlier, you would have seen that the 577 kart came into the end of the back straight, into the extension, the first sort of, turn number 12, and lost a wheel. Now, RJ Brown, again, a driver that I'm just getting to know from Smithville, Missouri. His real name is Reggie John, but his mum doesn't like him being called that, so sorry, Mum. But R3, 3 generations of Reggie, and all 3 are here, Grandad, Dad, and Reggie himself. There is the 543 Homer Heeman. Well, he's using his local knowledge the best effect, as he is top of the pops so far.
Yeah, it's been a great showing so far for Homer. Look, Gavin Bailiff has also been big in helping him kind of get used to this FZ package and really Shifter in general, right, of what it takes to go faster on this place, and it's working. He's half a second faster than RJ Brown that time. 9 seconds to go. This session getting ready to draw to a close. RJ doesn't improve. John McClellan doesn't go any better. And Homer Heeman just doing a great job, Henry, of continuing to improve that pace. The lap came late, and that local experience of in 5 minutes down the road. This kid doesn't drive here as often as maybe everybody thinks, but when he does, you see him going fast like he is now.
He is indeed. Now, I mean, we're going to open the book already because Homer and his brother are racing. We're going to see how many He-Man Masters of the Universe jokes, puns can we get in today. The book opens now. But He-Man, he is Master of the Juniors so far. Checkered flag is out. Just going to see R.J. Brown, John McClellan, Wyatt Kroger, Drake Williamson, Leet Simonelich, whose dad is racing as well, Kevin. And Brandon Ing is the other driver in the field, although I'm not quite sure if Brandon is out there. Certainly the number 579, the driver from Hong Kong originally, now lives up in Canada. Richmond, I said Richmond, Virginia? No, Richmond, Vancouver. But Brandon Ing, maybe just keeping himself dry, powder dry for the heats later on. Homer Heeman, he is your fastest. Pole position in qualifying for the FZ85 Juniors. Local knowledge proving key. The early doors at MCC Cincinnati.
Yeah, not bad there for Homer. What a way to kick off the day for the Trinity Karting Group here at their home race, and for the home drivers as well, right? We talk a lot about Finn and Gavin Bailiff. This kid also one of the ones that pretty much racing in his backyard.
Yeah, Drake Williamson is the other home state hero from Bethel, Ohio, in the number 509 kart. Now, this is where they're allowed to do one practice start afterwards, just to get the. Of course, these are juniors, and they do need experience getting these karts off the line. A standing start in shifter kart racing is one of the most spectacular views. Now we look at qualifying number 2, the Micromax division. No tickets to the grand finals for the Micromaxes here in the America's Trophy. There's Cohen Scott, part of the Stuart Robinson Racing team. There is the number 9 kart, Vettel Baker, part of the growing MSL CRG team. But really good to see Massimo Sanchez Lara and his brother Marcello, bringing a lot of drivers here, bringing a lot of young talent from the Texas region.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers, and you just said the Texas region is growing right now with the Rotax package. You're headed over to my home state later on this year.
I certainly am.
For the Texas Karting League. And these are all different things that are kind of popping up and growing this Rotax package a little bit, which is why you see the likes of Vettel Baker and the MSL team coming out here and wanting to take part of the national weekend that you have here, right? It's the same thing with, if you want to call it a TSRS to a SCUSA, so on and so forth, those regional races. And that's huge. That's been a big testament to the growth of this Rotax package that is coming back and resurging as a local option. And then it's also a package that you can use across the national level, Henry.
Yeah, no, because there are some drivers here competing in their very first national level race. And that's a good thing. You've got to start somewhere, This is the America's Trophy. They go to the Texas Karting League and some of the other regional Rotax championships that there are around. And it's good to see that they are growing. But here we go. 4 minutes for Micromax. You will see a kart on circuit, ladies and gentlemen, that looks strangely familiar, almost NASCAR-esque. That will be the number 66 Nitro kart of a certain young man, Kip Knaus. Knaus, you're thinking? That's a familiar name. Yes, the son of Chad Knaus. There he is, finding the limits. And Kip Knaus, again, he hasn't been in a Rotax for some time. he spent most of yesterday finding the limits. And he's found them already earlier on. But he's been run by Simon Carr, amongst them Brandon Carr's dad. Brandon Carr is here also running Tristan Francisco, Mini Pink, the younger brother, the cousin of Jaden Francisco, who of course is pretty in pink. Let's have a look. Split screen action. So we'll keep an eye on Kip Knaus, but for those who are expecting, famous racing name, he'll be up at the front straight away. No, these young kids, 7, 8 years old, as you see him, he's got, good kart control. Where you learned that from? But everyone takes their own time to get up to speed. I was saying to Kip, who is a very knowledgeable young man, his name is Kipling, named after Rudyard Kipling, who wrote the Jungle Book. I said, look, Rome wasn't built in a day. And then he said, what's that mean? I said, well, it takes time. It takes time. I said, even Jimmy Johnson wasn't very good when he first started racing. And then Kip said, well, even my dad wasn't very good. I said, I know. He once called for 8 fresh tyres at a pit stop. It takes time to get up to speed. And these kids, they need their own time. No pressure. Just enjoy their racing.
Especially at a young age, right? You talk about the development years. A lot of these drivers find themselves in that. This is where you build a foundation. And the Rotax package is something different to try and tackle. Speaking to a lot of different, people here in the paddock, James Sullivan was one of the ones that I talked to a whole lot with Vassar Sullivan Racing. And he said, look, you learn a lot of throttle modulation here in the Rotax package. You can't just get on the gas right away like you can in a regular IAME package. You have to modulate it, or else you're going to end up, flooding the carburetor. So that being said, it's something different for a lot of drivers. If it's their first time driving in a Rotax, it's something you have to try and tackle and try and learn to kind of navigate around. That being said, the driver who's doing that the best right now of making things translate is Bo Wyatt. He's currently fastest in the 51 Benek machine. Right behind him is Alessio Tosti, the driver or the winner back at round number 1 here, Henry. He was able to take away the win, and then in round number 2, it was Trey Sanders, who's, again, another one of the Ryan Perry Motorsports Nitro karts here this weekend. Bo is fastest. That changes Francisco to the top now, 45 seconds. This will be the final lap for everybody in this field to try and beat out Tristan Francisco. 102.036, the time to beat at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Mini Pink, Tristan Francisco, representing Canada and Portugal, his dad says, leads the way with a time of 102.036. 2/10 up on Alessio Tosti. For the MPG Motorsports team, Jack Katowski. For Trinity Karting Group is third. Bo Wyatt. We're looking at Bo. Bo is from Kearney, Missouri, the birthplace of the outlaw Jesse James. Well, World of Outlaws, that's a different kettle of fish in American motorsport, but have we got a mini, his mini outlaw, Bo Wyatt, crosses the line, checkered flag. Let's see who improves. Tosti Katowski to the top of the pylon, a 101.8, just 1,000th of a second quicker than Alessio Tosti. Caleb.
Yeah, Jack Katowski with a flyer lap there himself, and Francisco just right there with each other, towing each other along. And it ultimately went the way of Jack Katowski. Tosti in second, Francisco to Grant Heckman with a top 5 result here in qualifying. And then the first of the MSO Racing CRGs finds himself inside of the top 5. Sebastian Kim in the 22. Dusty Strayer, Kip Knaus, Vettel Baker, Bo Wyatt, Shep Sullivan, your top 10 to close out this qualifying session. Sanders, round 2 winner out of the Musselman Honda circuit, only 11th here in the qualifying session, the number 3. Gonna need to find a whole lot, gonna need to make some moves when it comes down to the pre-final later on today. Then Cohen Scott, Zolman, Garza, and more. 18 drivers total joining us here this weekend.
Yeah, the back there, Wiley Lee. Wiley Lee, the short on stature, long on talent is Wiley. Of course, he took a round win initially at the Winter Trophy at Speed Sports Park, all the way back in February, but then had a jump start penalty. So he's looking to earn that first win, not only on the road, but in actually. So let's have a look back at some of the action from early qualifying sessions.
Yeah, well, that's it. 2 qualifying's already done. More coming up next.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America. Use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
Well, FZ125, the shifters. Senior shifters, 2, 4, 6, 8 drivers in total. And of course, a real good variety of some of the big names in US karting. Carl Drysdale, Theo Kakati, All the Rage, Gage Korn, Gavin Bailiff, Owen Gaccione, Mason Mitchell, Kyle Vogt, and Kevin Simonelik are the contenders in this. What I'm liking, it's of course, this shifter package, it was, worked on factory karts, Billy Musgrave, but we're not seeing all factory karts out there. We've got a couple of Birrells, we've got a Maranello, a couple of Maranellos, a couple of Birrells, the rest obviously factory karts as well, but variety is always good. There is All the Rage, Gage Korn, and every time I see Gage, he has grown another 8 foot at least. How he can, you can see, but now he is about as tall as it's possible to get in a kart.
Yeah.
Not much room for seat positioning. He's got to be bolt upright. Not the most aerodynamic, but he's got to make up for that with a heavy right foot.
Yeah, thank you to Kart Sim yesterday. We had him in the simulator here at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, and it was hard to get him to fit his braking foot was pretty much hitting that front fairing. But yeah, he's a kid that's grown a lot, and he's really grown into the shifter class specifically. Look, you see what he's done, across the national circuit over at Superkarts USA, and what he did over at round number 1 at the Musselman Honda circuit here in this FZ package specifically. Taking the win there was a perfect way to kick off and to gain that little bit of boost of confidence. This weekend, there's a big test at hand for Gage Korn, right? The driver with probably the most experience, in the nation in a shifter package here is Gavin Bailiff, and he's been, that rabbit to chase all weekend long for Gage Korn. It's not going to be, an easy runaway at a track that he was familiar with over in Tucson. This weekend, he's going to have to work to try and beat the 64.
Yep, I want to say hi to Gage's mum and to Gage's brother Moose, who is apparently doing really well in school. Gage was telling me he's a bit of a hit with the ladies, of course, as which is Moose. He was quite proud to say that on his first day of middle school, he got 3 girls' numbers. But
doing something right.
But he's But again, Gage, he's growing in stature, not just physically, mentally as well. Understanding what it is to be a role model, understanding that, hey, he's got a nice brand, he's got a nice career in front of him, and other drivers are looking up to him, not literally just physically looking up to him because he's 8'3", but because, they're looking at him as somebody with experience, one of the bright young stars. And again, so is Gavin Bailiff, and I love going into the reception here and seeing the bump and run T-shirts, merchandise on sale as well. So many drivers in the US, they're leaning into the fact that they're a brand and they've got a platform, thanks to Kart Chaser, to develop their brand, to spread their, their wings in terms of career-wise and to get a following, of just people that support them as a driver, not friends and families, just kart fans around the world. They're picking, I like that driver, he's my favourite driver, I'm going to tune in wherever Gavin Bailiff is racing to watch him, and that's what we want. We want more people, and more people are watching. That marshal on the left-hand side of your screen, that's Adam. Adam spent, about 4 seconds yesterday high in the air after being clipped by a kart. He's okay, bit of a graze on his hand. The kart's okay as well, the driver. But he was saying that was a highlight of his day, or the low light of his day. High physically, and he was high in the air. Low in terms of the landing one, clever.
Yeah, well, this one probably going to be a qualifying highlight here for Gavin Bailiff out of the last corner. And I hope I didn't speak too soon because he's getting ready to cross the line. 200th of a second better than Gage Korn. Gavin improves. Final lap. Korn, no better. And here comes Kikati and the rest of the factory karts. Drysdale crosses now up to 5th. But Gavin Bailiff going to start on the pole position later on today to kick off Heat 1 and Heat Race number 2. The 64, a 54.811, goes that little bit better than Gage Korn to win the pole at home. And, speaking of Gavin a little bit yesterday, this is a place where he hasn't yet won at.
Oh.
He feels like he's lost more times than not.
That's got to sting. That's got to sting. Is this the weekend for Gavin? Let's hope so. Well, let's hope that not, obviously Gage, Theo, Mason, Kyle, and the rest will be hoping not. But, that's going to be a weight off the shoulders, because if you've got a circuit that literally your family lives and runs at the circuit, and yet you haven't won there, that's going to bug you big time.
Yeah, and it shows you it's not easy, right? It's not easy to do it. Brother Finn's done it a couple times. Gavin going to look for his first here this weekend in the FZ 125. And a little bit of practice starts, and again, this isn't, while it is still a shifter, there's a little bit of differences, right, compared to that regular KZ that Gavin is probably more used to running now at this stage. But him and his dad, Sean, have been a big advocates for the FZ package, running it here more locally in Cincinnati and creating a great avenue to, one day get into the ever competitive KZ shifter class that we're seeing. It's been a huge boom stateside over the last 2 to 3 years here, Henry, where you're seeing that package grow more and more popular and more drivers wanting to get through, which is why we have the FZ Junior class, FZ 125 as a stepping stone, and ultimately working your way up. As we highlight some of the drivers here, getting ready to go out, Mason Brody was one of the ones that we talked about. He's worked his way now up to junior across other national series, and he returns here in the Mini-Max division. Slate Hero as well. Different colors, well, same colors, different team with the MPG Motorsports crew. Same with Chavarri. And more.
Yeah, speaking to Chase Jones, you say, as he was busy, Chase was sitting there and he was putting a graphics kit on a nose cone, and I was there going, what's the odds that graphics kit looks just as purdy and pristine at the end of this weekend? He sort of looked at me and went, hopefully, hopefully it'll be okay. There's the 133, Dutch Westbrook. He'll be rolling off from the front of the field. Dutch, so the order in which they leave the grid for qualifying is based on the order which they finished happy hour practice. There's Mason Brody from Los Angeles, California. He's got fast Frankie Mossman helping to coach him. He's got the Aurum Racing engine, the only Aurum-powered driver here this weekend. Danny Sweeney over from the UK to oversee the power for that. You can see the fast Frankie Mossman logos on the front. They've been working really hard. Mason Brody, it takes time, but now the fruits of their collective labor are beginning to blossom, shall we say. As out they go. This is going to be another fast, frantic 4-minute qualifying session. As we look down the grid, onto the circuit comes the Bennick of Dutch Westbrook. And speaking to Dutch's parents, again, Dutch, a driver, we saw him in Micro Swift a lot, we saw him in Micro Max a lot. now moving up, and these drivers, their careers intertwine with the ages. You know, they'll disappear off into different areas of the sport, different classes, and then they'll come back, you know, a little bit older, a little bit taller, maybe even a little bit wiser. You never know.
It's something different for everybody, and again, something to get used to for us here in the booth as well. Dutch Westbrook sporting a brand new lid this weekend, a little bit different than the red, white, and blue that we're used to seeing. Still the Captain America logo on the back, still the shield back there, but this weekend and really for the foreseeable future, it's probably going to be that gold and black kind of chrome metallic reflective look, if you will, that we're going to see out of him. That being said, though, he's going to pop out of line, reposition himself, look to getting a tow out of somebody, because this field, I mean, when you talk about the cadet classes specifically here, Henry, the Mini Swift division has been one of the most competitive throughout the nation that we're seeing kind of take part weekend after weekend. And when you have drivers like Dutch Westbrook and like others that are going to go fast, you know, you have to find that last little bit, whether it's a draft, whatever you can find to try and go fast here.
Well, speaking of trying to go fast here, Cameron Reed has got a driver that has just gone fast here. She's with Gavin Bailiff.
Gavin able to go P1 here in qualifying by 3/10, so got a nice little cushion there, one step closer to getting that shifter win here. Kind of talk me through that session.
Yeah, it was obviously a close session yesterday. Me and Gage were really close in happy hour. Gage's been picking it up all weekend. He's definitely going to be one to beat this year. And yeah, so I don't know. The session was good. I finally was able to pull a pole position out here in qualifying. We're learning a lot for the next 2 weeks. We're on a different engine package, so we're still trying to develop the chassis as much as we can going into SCUSA next week, and then obviously trying to finish on the top of the box this weekend.
You're used to being one of the younger guys in the classes, and it feels like roles reversed this weekend with Gage kind of putting some pressure on you. How does it feel being almost a veteran this weekend here?
I mean, it's kind of nice to finally have a name in this class and be the one of the guys to beat. But yeah, I know I was in Gage's footsteps past couple years, so I know how he's feeling, and I know how much he's going to improve over the course of this year and the next years to come. So he's always going to be a strong competitor, and I'm glad to race against him.
Well, you're one step closer to getting that win here. Good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good to hear there from Gavin, right, on what it's like now being looked at as one of the older guys in that in the field here, Henry. So, yeah, something to note there for Gav, but, you know, nothing that he can't do is Chavary and Dutch Westbrook together in turn number 2.
Yeah, the Costa Rican driver, number 106 there. Just, I've got to say, I think Dutch just went for a little bit too much tarmac there. Let's have a little look back at that incident. It was a case of 2 into 1 doesn't go. Aiden Go is going. He's going to the top of the charts, 59.283 seconds.
Oh, Brody's into the wall. Mason Brody on the exit of the last corner.
Oh, and that's over the blind ridge.
A little wide. I think that might be Brody. That's a 67 there.
167. It's,
that's not Mason Brody. My apologies there.
Lucas
That's Tarango. Tarango's into the wall there.
Yeah, Lucas Tarango. Now, I was standing there watching the drivers come out of the dip, up over the crest. And if you get your right wheel coming out of what is turn number 11, if you get your right wheel, the checker flag goes out. It's very easy to just get sucked into the barriers, like we saw Tarango. Okay, Aiden Go for Parolin USA. He's now only 0.07 of a second clear of Mason Brody, but Go has taken the checker flag. Brody is on his final lap. So is Yusuf Adi, Slate Harrell. They're second, third, and fourth. Has anybody got anything for Aiden Go?
And we're going to find out here. Mason Brody still has one more lap to complete as he finds himself throughout the last 2 corners. Has to get a good exit here. He's going to have a little bit of a draft ahead of him in Hudson Howard, this time to the line. Howard looking to improve. The same for Mason Brody. Howard only 8th at the moment, goes all the way up to 3rd. And Mason Brody to the top with the flyer to close this one out of 59.006. 0.2 of a second better than Aiden Go. Mason Brody to the pole in the pre-final.
Yep, Brody. He wasn't directly. He was directly behind Hudson Howard in terms of on-track positioning, but he wasn't directly behind him in terms of there was clean air. He was using Hudson Howard as a target to get that lap in. Brody by 0.2 of a second from Go, Howard, Addy, and Harrell, your top 5.
Yeah, well, there you guys have it. Mason, Brody, top of the timing charts. And you almost got to catch your breath after that session there, Henry. A lot happened. A couple of the big contenders. Look, we talked about Dutch Westbrook being one of the drivers to look out for. Only 6th to close off that session. And here's a look back to the incident with Samuel Chavaret. Just looking to make a move on the inside of turn number 2. Chavaret already turning into the corner.
It's look, he gets up on the curb, realizes, doors closing. By that time, so the young Costa Rican, who was the only driver, he's got his Costa Rican race suit on, Samuel Chavaret. He's got that Ayrton Senna-esque replica crash helmet. And there, just one wheel on the outside of the corner, coming up over the crest, and just a slight misjudgment into those, what do we call those black things? They're sort of like, there's a word for them. Barriers, I think, is the word that I'm looking for. Yes. Well done, Henry. It's only taken me 20 years. But those curbs, they can be your friend. They can also be your foe.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to kind of navigate, right? You want to push the limits, turn 11.
Yep.
Find yourself going a little bit over. Still, some pickup and some more getting ready to come your way. We're live from the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. You're watching the RMC America's Trophy. We'll be right back.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. Long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsports Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
When it comes to innovation on the track, Odenthal Racing Products leads the pack. From the highly popular EasyGP camera mounts to our tough case to GoPro case, racers everywhere trust ORP for strength, reliability, and precision. We're proud to be the #1 engine mount manufacturer in the USA. And with our new Easy Bumper Retainer System, you won't get caught out with a failed bumper bolt again. Odenthal Racing Products. Lead or get left behind.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking, well, this is what we've got coming up on tap. You've got juniors going out now, Masters Max, and then senior Rotax to round out the qualifying session. Now, the pre-finals for the Rotax classes, because they've got an entire round today. The FZs, the FZs, juniors and seniors, well, they got one round over the course of the weekend, so they have 2 heat races today. And of course, the times are subject to change. That's what we've got coming up on tap. This is what we've got going on right now. That's Cruz Rodriguez, the driver of Kart 224 from Dripping Springs, Texas. Now there is a town that, he gets the wheel cocked up the head like a little puppy, in the air. Cruz, he runs the number 24 in memory of his late great-grandmother, Bonnie Owen. Bonnie Owen was one of the, she was the first female stock car driver to go and race in Japan. She passed away about 10 years ago, but Cruz and his family keep her memory alive by running number 24. Cruz's dad was showing some fantastic photos of Bonnie Owen, a real trailblazer in this sport. The first American lady to go and race in Japan. Fantastic. Look there, Atkins Speed Center. with the number 201, Travis Van Horn. Brand new graphics kit. They've got 2 karts, 2 graphics kits, and they've got a reverse graphics kit, a third style, which is a predominantly black one. There's Christian Sanguinetti, the only driver here running for Premier Karting this weekend. Martin LaPlante and the Premier Karting team. Christian Sanguinetti proudly wearing his Team Canada race suit, which he's won the last 2 years at the Grand Finals. Can he make it 3 tickets in a row? But that Atkins Speed Center graphic kit, I will use a word that you're familiar with. It pops. How's that?
I mean, I think that's a great way to put it, right? It's definitely very bright and colorful, and going to be a hard one to miss when it's out there on the racetrack. Look, as we get ready to talk about
it's going to be hard
time by and right on cue, right?
Good close-up. Thanks, Travis. Good close-up. There's the new graphics kit. It's nice with a green background as well as a grey background.
Yeah, well, there's Travis, unfortunately, going for a spin in front of our camera. It doesn't feel right. You talk about a driver. Talked about Kip earlier on today. Unfortunately, dropped the tire off the racetrack. Talk about Travis there, and just spins right in front of our camera. That being said, though, look, we got to talk back to round number 1 and round number 2 here, Henry.
Yes.
When you look at how it ended, it was about 2 drivers that have been at the top of the timing charts more often than not this year in 2026, and 2 drivers that have really emerged in the limelight. Ashton Woon won on the Saturday in the Junior Max Final, and Travis Pettit was able to get the win on the Sunday. And neither of them are taking part here this weekend. And this is a new opportunity for any of these drivers to step up and to take away some championship points.
Yep.
And a championship that's really crucial, right? When you look at winning a ticket over to Portugal, this is the perfect opportunity for drivers like this in the 221 of Sanguinetti to look to go back to the grand finals.
Yeah.
And represent your country.
Now, this is Group 2, so Junior Rotax, 28 drivers, the biggest grid we have here. They've been split. This is the slower half, so these are the drivers that were at the bottom half of the happy hour timing and scoring screens. Of course, they're still fighting for, hey, if Cruz Rodriguez, who is currently fastest, if his time, 58.677 seconds, is quicker than anyone from Group number 1, Cruz is your pole man. We expect that, the Group 1 drivers to go a little bit quicker, but Macron Motorsports, Cruz Rodriguez, at the moment, James Cushman is third. Sanguinetti goes fastest. Cushman is third. Nicholas Castro fourth. Travis Van Horn, Cooper Etor, Graham Eastlick, and Maverick Martin are the drivers in this session. 8 drivers in total. Now, that seems as though that's not half the field. I wonder what has happened. I did see a couple of other drivers. I saw Yutaka Sonoda's mum running towards the grid with a piece of paper in her hand, maybe a tech form, maybe something, but we've got 8 drivers on track. Sanguinetti, fastest of all at the moment. Travis Van Horn from the grass to the top of the pylon, a 58.320, just 200ths quicker than Sanguinetti. Checkered flag is out. Van Horn has already taken it. Can anybody beat him on the last flying lap, Caleb? The answer is
yes. Sanguinetti to the top here to close off this first half of qualifying. 58.061 for the 221. And it's Rodriguez, Eslick to fourth, Nicholas Castro, Cushman, Torre, and Maverick Martin. That's how they stack up at the end of it. Rodriguez tried to improve. He just couldn't, just shy of it. 3/10 back from Sanguinetti, who's top of the timing charts. 58.061, the time to beat when Group number 1 hits the racetrack here in a couple of moments, Henry.
Yeah, and at this circuit, look at Christian Sanguinetti, a very diminutive figure. He has just graduated out of Minimax. This circuit, look at the long radius corners. Grippy tarmac. Those are the corners that really test a driver's physical strength and their fitness, because especially turn number 1, I'm watching the karts go through turn number 1, and the karts are busy biting into the tarmac, that weathered, American Midwest tarmac. You've got some great hot summers, some cold winters. There's the CKR chassis, Kart Freedom. Now it's called Competitive Kart Racing. That's the name of the chassis. That name, I need to go and speak to Mr. Tonini at CRG, because it is part of the CRG family. They've got CRG and CKR. They need to have maybe a rebrand. It's a very colourful kart, but the name, nah. But it's been driven very well by Kart Freedom's Graham Eastlick. And now we look at group number 1. This is should be, well, there's a lot of them. I hope that everyone's going to get out for qualifying. Watch for a driver. He'll be new to the USA, Kai Clark for REM. Watch for Kai Clark, British driver. He arrives with a reputation, I will say that. Those who watched the grand finals last year, you would have seen the last corner of the junior road tax final. You don't need to go into that. Kai is here. A mental reset, a chance to rediscover having fun at a racetrack. And Kai and his dad, both said, Kai is smiling. He's really, really enjoying the atmosphere, the paddock. You know, less toxicity in this paddock than maybe at other countries. And that's really good to see, because you want all these youngsters just to be enjoying their racing. You want them to come away with a smile on their face. That's the most important thing of all.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity, right, to look at a different environment, look at a different place, and kind of refine something that you might have just been missing or gotten used to being in your home country, whether it's out in the UK or wherever it might be. Yeah. That being said, for these two young drivers here, Alex Chandler and Nico Orbezo, two of the 3 Iron Rock Motorsports machines. Clayton Stiles is another one of the ones here this weekend, the 237. But that being said, these two are really two to look out for. They were running over at the Texas Karting League just a couple of weeks ago whenever they went over to Gulf Coast Karters in Katy, Texas, about an hour away from Sweet Sports Racing Park that I'm sure everybody on our platform is familiar with, a track that we visited at the start of the year, right? And it was a very rainy day, and both of them displayed some great racing action going back and forth, fighting for the win all weekend long in the Junior Max division. That being said, a lot of other drivers are here with them this weekend. You talk about a Team USA regular now. He's established himself, Enzo Di Gennaro. He's inside of the top 10. Maxwell Macha looking to make the trip out there. Hudson Erlin, here as well. Paxton Romero, Maxwell Macha, I think I said, William Veeder. The list goes on and on and on of all these drivers that are joining us here and looking to earn that ticket and to really revive a championship fight here this weekend with both Ashton Moon and Travis Pettit absent from competition.
Yeah, now, Alex Chandler, I will say this, the chassis, that wagon, the Carlos Sainz chassis that Alex is driving, well, on Thursday afternoon, Caleb, it was a very poorly looking wagon. One of the seat stays had snapped, and Mr. Chandler was trudging off to find someone to weld it. It's been welded, but the kart is old. Alex Chandler's using a well-worn chassis. There's Kai Clark, number 267, Team UK race suit. And already you can see that Enzo Di Gennaro, they've clocked on that Kai Clark can wheel a wagon with the best of them. And they are letting Kai tow them round. Now you can see how tall Kai is compared to some of the other drivers. There's the 213. That's William Vita, the Lionsville from Zionsville, Indiana. They're all just following. There's Maxwell Matcher. So some of the big names lining up behind Kai Clark. And Kai Clark normally will be like, well, you know, traditionally you don't want to be at the head of the train in qualifying. I think Kai's like, hey, I got nothing to lose. Let's just go and have fun. Catch me if you can. That's the idea. Kai Clark now concedes top spot to Maxwell Matcher in the number 274. There he is, Matcher. This is now, now Kai falls back. 10 seconds to go. So Kai won't take pole position. Matcher looks like he's on course to take pole position, although tactics in qualifying. Gotta love them. None of these drivers are going to improve on their final lap, because they're all battling away. Kai Clark just eases back. And meanwhile, while they all play tactics, Brandon Ing for the factory kart team, the driver out of Hong Kong, now based in Richmond, Vancouver, he pulls a fast one, quite literally, 57.028.
Yeah, and that's a massive lap there out of Brandon. Just improved 0.06 of a second. Everybody else is going to look to put in a flyer here. This final time around is going to be close. There's Eng, just the middle of the pack. John McClellan's right behind him, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then even more
Marco
drivers
Pizzari.
right there in the mix. Here they come, Henry, to the line. This time by Eng, currently quicker than them all. Can they improve? Chandler doesn't. Macha doesn't improve. There's a little bit of shuffling further back, and John McClellan to the line. Steals the pole from Brandon Eng on the last opportunity that he got.
Well, should I give away a little bit of a secret now? Yeah, why not? I think John McClellan's key to pole position was the fact that his dad, once they got into the circuit this morning, his dad let him drive the car into the pit space. As we're walking in this morning to make sure everyone's got their bands checked, the window rolls down. There's John driving his dad's car into the track. I think that's the key. CB Motorsports, well done to the team, Christian, and the team there. Nunu, John's mechanic this weekend, will be very, very happy. Maybe he'll get an extra tattoo, Nunu, to celebrate this pole position. He's got maybe about 3 inches of skin left without a tattoo on it, so maybe that'll be the reason. Brandon Ing is second. This is upside down, topsy-turvy junior Rotax grid. Chandler in third, Matcha fourth, Ben Glieberman is fifth, Obrezo, Fazzari, Paxton Romero, Hudson Erlin, and William Vito 10th. Where's Kai Clark? P11. Where's Enzo Di Janeiro? P17. Some of the big hitters are starting mid-pack, which will make very, very entertaining racing.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining to watch. I'm sure for some of those drivers, it's going to be hard to kind of navigate their way through some of the traffic to look to work their way to the front. That being said, that shows you, right, the level of competition still very, very high here at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati and at the RMC America's Trophy here. It's been great to watch, great qualifying sessions, and look, for everybody at home, you aren't going to want to miss any of the racing action going on later on today. Only $9.99 a month. You can watch all the racing action live from coast to coast. We'd be excited to have you with us and join us for what's going to be, I think, a very exciting Senior Max race. Junior Max is one of the ones to watch, and then Masters Max as they get ready to go out and qualify.
Now, Caleb, you say $9.99 a month. This is how, if you are not yet a Kart Chaser subscriber, Kart Chaser premium member, now $9.99 a month, but that is only if you sign up from a non-Apple device, because the Apple tax comes into play as well. So, put your iPhone down, go and pick up your laptop and subscribe that way to save yourself some dollars.
Yeah, it's a little bit extra, right? So make sure you do it on
don't pay the Apple tax.
Non-iOS device, and you can only pay the $9.99. And look, it's worth it. You have it for the whole month, have it for the whole year, and you watch pretty much for the month of June, and I think into July we have a race every single weekend. Next week we're at the Pro Tour. The week after that, we move forward and forward with the rest of events that we have. Very, very busy schedule on deck for us in 2026.
And there are some weekends this year where Kart Chaser are going to be at like 3 venues on the same weekend.
Yeah, four venues almost. Some of the ones that are coming up later on this year.
My cup of karting joy overflows. Speaking of karting joy and overflowing, this is Max Masters. Now, there are 2 karts on circuit. They're the only 2 karts in the class here at the moment. However, a third driver is quite literally en route to the circuit now. That third driver, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Sir Michael of Rollerson, who left the track on Thursday night. Yesterday, flew back up to the Pacific Northwest so he could attend his youngest daughter's preschool or elementary school graduation. Massive family event, and quite rightly, Mike wanted to be there for that. He has then caught the red eye back here, and we're going to see Mike Rollerson racing. Certainly he'll be back for the heat, he'll be back for the pre-final and the final itself. Now, up until Billy Musgrave got a ticket for the grand finals driving a factory kart in the DD2 class at the Winter Trophy at Speed Sports, Mike Rollerson was the last American driver to earn a ticket to the Rotax Grand Finals driving an American-built kart. He did that in 2006. 20 years between American drivers driving American-built karts going to the Grand Final. So Mike Rollerson, he wants to dust off the cobwebs You know, throw back the years. Speaking of throwbacks, there's 658. Billy Cleveland has been racing since 1971. Can you believe that? That is, and yes, that's older than me, ladies and gentlemen, by a good 10 years. The other driver on track at the moment, the number 657, Jose de la Garza. And I was speaking to Jose because there was a, you know, he's from Monterrey, Mexico. There was a Mexican IndyCar star in the mid-80s, Jose Garza, who was a young talent and who dropped off the face of the earth. Had such a massive amount of talent in Jose Garza. Hopefully, Jose de la Garza has inherited some of that talent. But Billy Cleveland, the ageless wonder. Now, I was lucky enough to be out at Santa Maria, California 3 weeks ago for the Formula KFX Rotax Racing Club, which is just north of where Billy Cleveland is based, and it's about 2 hours north from where Art Ingalls put the first ever go-kart down in 1956. So that the sports heritage is still very close at hand.
Yeah, well, look, we've talked to a lot of drivers this weekend. Gavin Bailiff was one of those. The other driver also lives on site, Finnegan Bailiff. He's standing by with Cameron Reed.
Finn, probably not the result that you wanted this morning in warm-up, kind of middle of the pack there in 7th. Kind of talk us through the issues that you felt there and what you're looking forward to going into this quali session.
Yeah, just trying to get a good draft and kind of stay out of traffic. This morning we were on a good lap, but kind of hit traffic and messed us up a little bit. Didn't really have any problems, though, with the kart or the engine, so we're all good there.
As somebody who has driven these tracks in all conditions, what are you kind of expecting the track to be like right now with what these temperatures are like and how much rubber is being laid down?
Yeah, there's definitely getting a lot of rubber down. This morning it was a little cooler, too, and we were not set up as good as we were yesterday because it was hot. But now the sun's come out, and we're hoping the track grips up a little bit more so we can be faster.
There you guys have it. Finn looking to match his brother in this quali session today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It does look, Caleb, as though we've had a problem. The problem that Billy Cleveland has, well, we haven't got a problem. Billy Cleveland might have a problem. He may, or that transponder may not be working. It may not be charged. Hopefully it's on the kart. It does mean, as things stand, that we could be looking at a top gear from the rear by Billy Cleveland. You know, he might have to start at the back of the pack, all the way on the inside of row number 2. That could be, oof, you know, that'll be a charge. Jose de la Garza, 59.392, leads the way by virtue of being the only driver to have set a lap time. Mike Rollison is there. There's Jose de la Garza coming into the pit lane. Pole position for the RPG number 657. Hey, before anyone mocks, it only takes 2 drivers to make a kart race. And we've got 3. We will have when Mike Rollison touches down and gets himself to the circuit. But will it be one of the all-time classics? Doubtful, but you never ever know. Billy Cleveland has raced in the World Karting Championships, has raced up and down across this nation, all around the world, still going, still fast. Believe it or not, Caleb, he is driving a set of golf clubs because he's supposed to have retired a couple of years ago and taking up golf. And he said, look, this is my pair of, this is my set of golf clubs. Aren't they nice? I was like, best set of golf clubs I've ever seen, Billy, for the REM, the Racers Edge Motorsport Group.
Yeah, well, two hobbies that can definitely get quite expensive, right?
Yeah.
But look, that being said, it shows you, you know, all of us, once you get that little itch to kind of get back into it, it's something to keep an eye on and something you always want to get back into because there's really, you know, you don't feel the adrenaline anywhere else rather than right here. But coming up next, Senior Max gets ready to hit the racetrack. Blake Nash, same suit, a little bit of different card, got the call from Billy Musgrave. And is going to take part in qualifying here.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser driver fitness episode with me, Chris G. And today we're doing some upper back movements. Here we go. Exercise number 1 today we're doing is the reverse grip lat pull down. This exercise movement is one of my favorites because it works your grip strength, your biceps, and most importantly, works that lat area that also protects those ribs in the seat. Exercise number 2 today, the dumbbell chest supported row. Don't forget, good stretch at the bottom, and bring them right to your hips like that, keeping your back nice and arched, shoulders back. Think about having good posture in the cart. Exercise number 3, the inverted Smith machine rows. Grip strength, back strength, overall amazing workout. Thanks again for joining me on another Kart Chaser driver fitness episode with me, Chris G. Race ready training that carries into real life.
Well, senior Rotax on track. We're looking at Blake Nash. Blake Nash, first weekend on a factory kart, and I believe Cameron Reed may have a little bit of insight into Blake and his appearance on the All-American made wagon.
Yeah, we talked a little bit to Blake Nash on the grid here before he went out for that session. Just trying to get his thoughts on the chassis and how he's adapted to it throughout the weekend. He says he's continuously getting more comfortable with it the more sessions that he makes, but ultimately the biggest difference he's felt between the factory kart he's driving here this weekend versus his normal OTK is under braking. He said he has to be a little bit more disciplined to keep the kart underneath him this weekend versus on his OTK he's comfortable and trusts those brakes. He can drive it in nice and deep. And then he also mentioned the factory kart has a lot more front grip here, so he has to have discipline on his hands as well to keep the kart smooth and not overheat those front tires, but he's ultimately able to roll some more speed into the corner. So I think we'll continuously see Blake Nash get a little bit quicker the more he gets comfortable with this factory kart here, but ultimately he's leading us off for qualifying.
One thing I noticed, I was in the factory kart awning earlier on, Justin Stefani and the team. So every single driver on a factory kart under the factory kart awning has a folder, a binder. Each session has a special page, and they have to mark with a series of symbols the kart performance, how the kart feels, what the kart's doing at every single corner. Now, that's for everybody. So the youngsters in the team, they look at Blake Nash, they look at Theo Kakati, the senior members of that squad doing exactly the same. It's a really good example that the entire team have to. So every driver, doesn't matter who you are, what your achievements are, you come in, you have to fill out your data folder after every single session, which I think is really good because, of course, that factory kart is still being developed. You know, it's not the finished article. They're still working on that. So I like that. That's a really nice little initiative, I think, from factory kart. That factory kart at the moment is just dropping it to 6th position behind Aiden Ingrata at the moment, who is fastest in the number 315 kart. We're watching him following Sean Butcher, now ahead of Sean Butcher, and that very familiar white and red Birrell ART, the Trinity karting group of Finnegan Bailiff in the number 394 following as well, 349 following as well.
Yeah, Aiden Ingrata, when you look back over at the opening weekend here of the RMC America's Trophy, look, he swept round 1 and 2 over in Tucson, and again, that's propelled him really, really far ahead the rest of the field when you talk about championship points and when you talk about earning that ticket over to Portugal at the end of the year. So for everybody else, it's playing catch-up against the 15 that has been just so fast to start off this year. 40 seconds to go, and they're going to have to find a lot to try and go better than Aiden Ingrata. Finnegan Bailiff found something, though. He's up to 2nd. A 56.243 is his best time. With Blake Nash up to 3rd, Macy Williams, Derek Wargo, your top 5, and Sean Butcher only 7th here. The British driver looking for a lot more.
Yeah, looking down the order, little sizzle. Isaac Malkut in 6th position. Boutillier is 8th. Chotaro Sudakawa, Max Klein, Thomas Anthony, Christopher Goulet, Ethan Wilson, Caitlin Hottenstein. Your other contenders as the clock ticks down Ingrata by a 10th up on the field at the moment. He's in clean air, is the Canadian driver Aiden Ingrata from Kingsville in Ontario for the Racing Edge Motorsports team. And I have to say, the Racing Edge team have looked really, really strong across the line. Checkered flag comes out. Let's see. It's all changed behind Ingrata. Ingrata, a 56.014. Putting the nail in the pole position coffin. Macy Williams goes to P2. What a morning for Christian Bird Motorsport, because John McClellan, Poland Jr., Macy's coaching John this weekend, and now Macy puts her kart on the front row of the grid as well. I put that down to the interview she did with you at Kart Sim yesterday, Caleb. You should take full credit for that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Macy put in a good lap. She did all the work there, put herself up to second, and only 0.07 of a second in between herself and Aiden Ingrata on the Racing Edge Motorsports machine. Malquid up to third, Wargo, then a Bailiff who slotted down to fifth at the end of it. And then you have Blake Nash on the factory kart machine, sixth. Bottiglier, Butcher only eighth to close off the day. And it just didn't look fired on for the RPG Cosmic in that session. Repositioned himself, kind of, I would say, slowed his momentum down a little bit more there, Henry. But yeah, it just didn't seem like it was all quite there for Sean Butcher in that qualifying session.
Yeah, we watch, that's the final qualifying session of the day, done and dusted, as we follow the drivers just coming in to pit lane now. Of course, you see them peeling off the start-finish line. They will go into the scale line and go through the usual procedure. Weigh, make sure they're up to the minimum class weight, and lo and behold, waiting for them is Cameron Reed with your pole sitter, Aiden Ingrata.
Aiden, this has seemed to be pretty easy for you time and time again, pole position in both wins in Tucson, and you've done it here again. Kind of talk me through how it's been building this package and ultimately getting it to where it's been the quickest every weekend this far.
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. Arizona was good, and here so far, actually, we were struggling quite a bit. I mean, Butcher's been the fastest all week. Yeah, we just put on new tires, and all of a sudden it was much better. So I want to thank the team for a top job. Obviously, we still have a long way to go, but yeah, it was good. Kart's good, engine's good. It's always been like that in the Rotax package, so yeah.
Anything that you're looking to change going into these heat races as the temperature is going to continue to rise today?
Yeah, I mean, the track always changes. Like yesterday, the track gets greasy often in the afternoon, so we'll look. But yeah, that's the best the karts felt all weekend. So I want to thank the guys, and we'll see in the pre-final how it goes.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's an Aiden Ingrata. I spoke to Aiden at the start of the weekend, and he said, look, I'm not jinxing anything because I remember Orlando 2 years ago, the last day of the Winter Trophy, where a virtually assured championship slipped away in heartbreaking fashion. So he knows that the job is not done, not by a long shot. What a beautiful, beautiful view, ladies and gentlemen. The skies are blue. The leaves are plush and green on those Buckeye trees. The breeze, thankfully, is in the air because the breeze has been noticeable by its absence over the last 2 days. The track workers, the marshals, and the incident report marshals out on circuit take just a moment, one final moment to sit, to gather their thoughts whilst the track falls silent, because in, well, as you can see on the Perico countdown to green, we've got just over 5 minutes, just over 6 minutes remaining before racing gets underway, Caleb.
Yeah, only 6 minutes, and you aren't going to want to miss any of the racing action here from the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. You're watching rounds number 3 and 4 of the RMC America's Trophy. We thank you very much for watching the free coverage here this morning, and we'll see you on the other side.